kind of emergency, but it is an emergency, you know?
Yeah. We gotta get on better degrees for it.
Yeah.
My old apartment complex had that.
Yeah, under the emergency thing, it says lockout or flooding in your apartment. And I was like, but I mean, I'll call them at 10.
Yeah.
Hi guys. It's okay. They're not here before then anyway, so it's not like, you know.
Well, the office people aren't here for them, but I think that doesn't matter.
Do you want to try calling the maintenance number from your phone? There's a number under the app in the emergency section, but that's the only option there is. That's the thing. That's why I was like, ah, crap. Oh,
Grocery store.
hello. I'm on mute because, okay, no worries. How's everyone doing? Yes, I did, Tiffany. Oh, I didn't even get cups out. Where is my brain? Who ate my brain? Where did it go? Why is it not here? How is everybody? Good morning. Hi. Stuck in traffic. On your way home from work. What? Brittany, what? Yeah, our sink is having some kind of issue that I don't super understand. It started last night while I was packing orders. It's a good thing we're not making stuff. It's a good thing we're just packing orders, because I'll tell you what, it's not cute. It's moving day. Whoa, wait, you're moving again? Or just like from where your temporary place was? I sold out for my friend this morning. That's amazing. Grace, just DM me so that I can combine your stuff for you, because I saw your other DM on what do you call it? I saw your Instagram this morning, but I need it on Patreon if you don't mind, because that would be helpful. My Keurig needs to be discussed. Oh, that's the worst. Moving into your official apartment. Yay! That's very exciting. Very exciting. How's everyone feeling this morning? How's everyone else's sink? Oh yeah, I sent it on Patreon. It's a separate one going another place. Oh, that's fine. Well, if it's going another place, then we don't even have to stress about it. I work for very few hours for a small business. Oh, too bad you don't live closer to here. I can make you pack orders. It's literally my least favorite part of my job. It's the worst. It's okay. It's okay. My sink is fine, but my toilet tank is leaking, so that's fun. That's just as bad. It's just as bad. That's literally what you do. If any of you lived closer, I would make you come pack these orders. Better anyone but me. Packing orders is the worst part of your job for me, too. That's right. Sasha, I'll buy a pickle jelly. Could you combine? Yes, Cass, do it quickly and then DM me on Patreon specifically, because I have to check there for your stuff anyway. Oh, thank you, Heather. Thank you so much. I can be there in about 23 hours. I might be done in 23 hours, friends. Or nearly. I mean, not 100% done in 23 hours. You have to replace your car battery. Oh my gosh, Jen, that sounds literally awful. Wait, what'd you say, Becca? I missed it. What happened twice to you? Oh, the toilet leaking? Oh, that's right. You had your toilet replaced. I forgot that Max was very into the new toilet. School texted and said Max wasn't here. That's what. Is he there? Where is he? You're not a mess, Anya. Don't even stress. Okay, why'd they say that then? Why are they liars? That's not an okay thing to do to a parent. That's like literally life-ending kind of terror. Yes, Amanda, I 100% will, and very likely in February on Patreon specifically. I think you're on Patreon, Amanda, if I remember correctly. And hey, Mama Jen, and it will be available to the just Patreon people in February, and then again beyond that. So don't even worry about Sort Me. Sort Me is coming right back to you. Okay, yeah, Amanda, it 100% is happening in February, because February is the month of like everything the Patreon people missed. We're making whatever quantities you need, and Sort Me was missed by the most people, so that one's gonna start growing. I watched him walk into the school down the hall, so I shouldn't have worried. Yeah, but I mean, like, just because you watch that happen doesn't mean that, you know, I don't know, it still freaked me out. Making funny voices. It literally could, AC. Like, that's what I'm saying. Just because you saw that happened, you know, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, you know what I'm saying, sort of, I guess. I did another order this morning because of things I missed last night. That's totally fine, Amanda. I can combine them. So in case anyone doesn't know, when I combine your orders, I will always give you the best possible shipping situation. So if it's not cheaper to combine your orders, I just don't. Hey, Shira. Oh, Shira, will you text me, because I have an idea for a charm. I don't want to forget to text you, but I did forget to text you this morning, but it has to do with February on Patreon. It was so funny. Adding a sticker adds $1 to shipping. The post office. No, it's okay, Grace. It'll get worked out. I stopped making my orders and I can't get the password to work today. It's a sign for me to stop. Really? Why can't? Well, Arbitrary Canary. I have to tell you, your order's already packed. Do you guys want to see the box that Arbitrary Canary's order is in? Would you guys all like to laugh with me? I can go get her box. It's already in the hallway. Hold on. Oh, it's under all these other boxes. Ugh. Come on, Sasha. This is funny because this is a box that she sent to me, and this is a box that I'm sending to her. I have to open this box. I've had this box of stuff that she sent me for a couple of days, but I wanted to save it to make a video after restock. I don't know, Lupe, sorry, I'm far away from the screen. I can't see it, but I don't know because I haven't looked yet this morning. So let me put this one down. That's from Arbitrary Canary to me, and this is from me to Arbitrary Canary. It's funny, they're the same size. We have problems, clearly. So yes, this is going to her, and that came to me. There's at least 120 slimes left. Yay! Hey, I sent you a DM on Patreon with some shipping info. Okay, cool. I'll get to it ASAP. Have a great day. Thank you. It is kind of super wonderful. It's a very funny box. I don't want to tell you what's in it because you guys are going to love it. Also, just so you guys know, in this particular, I know, Jennifer, it's crazy. In this particular restock, just so you all know, if anyone's stuff was going in a mailer, and they had one of the jars. I answered your message, by the way. Kyle saw it and said, the slime lord message. That's really funny. I will check it as soon as I get to the computer, Danielle. So just so you guys know, if anyone's slimes were in the jars that in the past we've had trouble with, like, you know, those little 4 ounce with the dome top ones have in the past caused us trouble. What I did was, not only did I do my normal shipping where I bubble wrap it and then I put it in the mailer and then I put it in another mailer for protection, but I also took a layer of that weird honeycomb paper and put one layer of the honeycomb paper around the smaller like orders of I saw it, Gigi. Don't even stress. I literally saw all your messages. I just haven't got to your order yet. So I leave everything unread until I get to that person's order so that I don't forget what they've said. So I put a layer of the stuff around it. So like if any, when I tell you guys, if any of these slimes break in shipping, something is awry, because I have done everything that a human can do for these slimes to arrive properly. At least confirmed the 9th and if the Dr. Covary. Yay! Yes, Kyle's called me the slime lord for I think like almost a year now, right? Something like that. Long before we had Patreon. Oh, you're totally welcome, Gigi. Don't even stress. I know that it's stressful on the day of, but like it's like everybody got stuff. There's still stuff left. No one on Patreon missed out. You know what I mean? Me too, Brittany. I know. Oh, Jen, it's never been the empty ones. I know. Oh, you're saying you got 4. Yeah, but you guys, here's the thing. Don't forget, I saved a little bit of everything. So if something does break, we'll just replace it. That's why we insure packages, right? Because we don't want to have to, willingly missing out is different than missing out because I did something wrong, you know what I mean? I think the AD slime should arrive in chastity belts. Cindy, I saw your thing and I have stuff for you. So yeah, that is the whole kit and caboodle. Yes, the tree was gone yesterday. We took it down over the weekend, as promised. I'm on my way to buy our book club book. Yes, it's a good one. Guys, I gotta tell you all something book club related. Are you ready? Is everyone ready for this news? The book cover is almost done. I saw it last night and it's almost done. Yeah. It's very, very cool. And then I'm getting a last round of edits done that I have to work on implementing this weekend. And then, so I was hoping, like the tentative date that I put into Amazon to have the book released was February 12th. I think we're on track for that. So I think it's literally going to be like February 12th that it comes out. Oh, do it, Betsy. You got this. We're always thinking of you and everyone in your profession, literally daily. So there's gonna be a book. Went back to YouTube and started Land of Stories over so long ago in the first kitchen. Oh, I know, right? Isn't that funny? I have not gotten the blurb done, Cindy. I actually need to email Jennifer about that as well. Will we be able to pre-order once it's ready? Yes, once I have it 100% uploaded into Amazon, you will be able to pre-order it, but Grace, I don't think you'll want to. The reason I don't know if you'll want to pre-order it is the pre-orders won't be signed. And I figured that like our book club people would want like special notes. I have notes in mind for a lot of book club people already. Oh really, Jennifer? That's amazing. So you guys can order it just straight. People can just order it straight on Amazon if they want, but if they want the signed copy, it has to be with me first, you know? So just hang tight on that. My plan is to order, are we gonna do a book club read of your book? We are, Frankie, but we're gonna do it. I'm gonna do a read aloud about a month after the book is out so that people have time to read it without spoilers. I wouldn't hate that, Grace. That I wouldn't hate. Sign it with your mind. Sign it with your mind. Wouldn't that be amazing? Will that be through Patreon also? Patreon will have it first and then it'll come over here on TikTok. Order from Amazon, but of course get a hard. Oh, that's totally fine. Get Kindle, yeah. I just hyped up your book at the gym today. Oh, yay. Thank you, Liz. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, if anybody is willing to tell their local like book clubs and stuff about it, I wouldn't hate that. That would definitely help. My plan is to order 150 copies to come to me. My plan is to have 150 copies for the initial like signing thing. I think that will be good. Oh, bye Danielle, do that, that's important. Do you have a video giving a quick overview of what it's about? Not yet, Jess, but I will. As soon as, I'm not doing that until I have the book cover to show, because the book cover is very explanatory and I wanted the book cover to be what everyone sees when they hear about it. So I will, but I just give it a minute. I'll probably have a video about it sometime next week when the pre-order is available. I'll do that all at the same time. I'm really excited about it. Last night it kind of hit me for the first time when I saw how finished the book cover was. I was like, oh my God, it's like a real book. Like there's a book cover and it's gonna be like printed and oh, it's so cool. So I'm pretty excited. Like I know it's a little different because I'm self-publishing it versus Owl Becca, you do. I feel like this book is all of our babies because you all were a part of it for sure. You know, I know it's different than like coming from a traditional publisher, but I just wanted to get it out there. And also like looking at a lot of the stats on traditional publishing versus, you know, self-publishing, and also talking to my friends who've self-published. I just like, it felt like the right move right now, because when you do it through a traditional publisher, like you don't see any profits from it for a long time. Seriously, Becca, tell them to go away. And to be able to make more things like this, I need the profit from it more immediately to spend that back into the fold of doing other things. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. I don't really have the position to like wait a year for a royalties check. You know what I mean? So you're a mirage. Whoa. So anyway, let's get started on reading, but very exciting. I was gonna look in the mirror and make sure I had a reflection. What? I have their number blocked, but I still get voicemail. Really? That's weird. All right, so today we are going to read the pop-up biblio about American Girls. Am I not in real life? Right, seriously. That's what I said. Can I have the quickest recap ever? Yes, so this book is actually a collection of essays about her experience. So the cool thing about this is if you miss the day before or any of them, the day of is just gonna be, it's kind of like self-contained in a way. The chapter we read yesterday was about shopping, fashion, and mall culture of the 90s and how it was pushed on girls but then also looked down upon at the same time. It's very interesting and very true. And then she has like a little aside about American Girl dolls that we're about to read now. I may bank off them. Off American Girl dolls, really? All right. Compare this to the last nonfiction we read. It's almost the same in structure to the last nonfiction we read, but a lot less offensive. Grace, if you want to, I've also, or for anybody, the 2 previous chapters of this. All right, bye Tiffany, see you later. It's so much better, Shelly. It's so much better, like infinitely better. The last 2 chapters of this are uploaded on the Use of Tubes. So if you need to catch up auditorially, you can do that as well. So let's read the pop-up biblio, American Girls Next Door. In the 90s, across America, many young cereal eaters honey-smacked the box they had been reading off the breakfast table to make room for the apex of aspirational living through historical consumerism, American Girl catalogs. It was less of a catalog and more of a way of life. When people talk about 90s toy hysteria, they refer to Beanie Babies, but I think American Girl catalogs were their own form of Beetle mania. Mostly because I cried a bunch when I realized how out of reach the price points were. I pored over those catalogs. Their fearless leaders and aesthetics were relentlessly pleasant. I would dog-ear pages and circle the approved fashions like Miranda Priestley editing the September issue.
For a gal with kindergarten education and not a dime to my name, I sure had some hot takes about antique furniture and sartorial choices. I imagined myself with a mouthful of waffle crisp saying under my breath, "Really? Samantha's birthday? A pinafore with a flower crown? Florals for spring? Groundbreaking." My grandpa surprised me with Kristen when I was around 5. It was literally the best day of my life. I was shook to my cottage core upon meeting 1854's hottest frontierswoman. I have a picture of that day framed in my office, and I'm now 35 years old. I took out those milkmaid braids faster than you can say deprecation, adoring her crimping hair that I always attempted to achieve via sleeping in double Dutch braids before picture day, hoping it would finally be the year that I'd be less plain and tall. When I really think about it, it's kind of remarkable that Pleasant Company made young women in a teen talk Barbie America suddenly enamored with activities like hand tufting a muslin border friendship quilt. Being immersed in this world made it seem like Malibu couldn't hold a St. Lucia candle to the Minnesota frontier. My Barbie wouldn't settle for less than a hot pink Jeep Wrangler and a dream home McMansion, so I'm sure no one saw it coming that I would audibly gasp upon receiving a doll in a calico dress whose only accessory was a wooden spoon. Though I grew fatigued of life on the frontier when I flipped the page and the hot accessory for her school collection was a bucket and a ladle, aka another woman's wooden spoon. So I set my sights on Samantha Parkington. Samantha was my girl. I was a Samantha girl, yes. Whose grandmother, named Grand Mary, had serious coin and the best grandmother nickname in town. To this day, I find Samantha's winter story outfit to be unbelievably chic, with a wool cape, white fur accessories, and a tasteful handbag that's somewhat of a Gymboree Birkin of its time. Although I'm not sure I would have gone for the matching rabbit for a muff, had a hat to visit my friend at the orphanage, but go off, queen. Yeah, who was everyone's American Girl doll? I think I still have a Samantha, or I sold her for $300. That's hilarious. I was definitely a Samantha girl. I had all the Samantha books. I think it's because at the time she's the one that looked closest to me. You know, she had the darkest hair. You're a Cabbage Patch era? I never had a Cabbage Patch doll. She was Girl of the Year in 2012. Oh. Your mom was a Samantha girl? That makes me feel so old. Oh, Danny, why? Kit Kittredge, nice. Of course, nothing competes with Felicity's red gingham canopy bed and blue taffeta holiday gown. These girls invented Christmas formal wear in ways that justified my commitment to remarkably itchy velvet dresses with lace collars and candy cane printed white tights tucked into my Sam and Libby's in hopes that I'd have a Merriman Christmas. While Samantha was an aspirational standoff Victorian Kate Middleton in the flesh, I never had her. My sister had Molly, whose vibe was more of a relatable, kind of World War II geeky fresh. My neighbors had Addie and Felicity, and all the American girls next door would convene to swap their clothes and accessories to supplement our unfulfilled Christmas wish lists and create the catalog setup of our dreams. To be clear, while I longed for many items in the catalog, I only had one doll, and it was a gift. To this day, I struggle not to pass judgment on people of the whole bedroom set persuasion, as if they don't share my same capacity for longing because they got everything that I wanted. My mom was so sweet and would get Samantha or Felicity's dresses for me, so I put on Felicity's dresses for me to put on Kirsten so that I could pretend I had all the dolls. For my church confirmation, my parents got me a life-size replica of Samantha's Victorian school desk, and I can't wait for the day when I can transport it to Chicago. Given that Victorian school desks are full-on cast iron, it hasn't been the most practical item to hang on to for my transient, childless, millennial apartment-dwelling lifestyle, but hopefully, one day I could give it to my future offspring so they can watch their iPad on it. That's funny. These dolls and their accessories were too insanely expensive to justify for most families, to the point where the only time I didn't find math class to be tough was when I was doing some light mental math eyeing new school friends' collections when I'd go to play at their houses. Devoted catalog flippers knew the price points by heart, and there were certain clues that made me willing to bet that you were also a horse girl and you had an intercom system where I could call downstairs and inquire if there was a trampoline out back to cement our new BFF status. I knew once I saw the tiny leg cast or the doll wheelchair out of the corner of my eye that your parents had the cash to send your doll to the doll hospital. I just had Samantha. She had things, but not from the catalog. We had like second, like off-brand stuff. Like I had a bed for her, but it wasn't the American Girl bed. It was like a bed my mom got somewhere else so that the doll could have a bed, but like not the official expensive bed. And like I wanted the trunk for her. Never got the trunk for her. I only had just the one set of clothes. Yeah, no, it fit. No judgment. I'm not judging my mom for not getting me the real bed. That bed was probably worth 50 cents and cost $300. I only had Samantha too, no add-ons. She could never afford the hospital. Target dollar sizes were a bit too small for her. Yeah, I never related more to your mom. You'll probably never relate to her again, Becca. That will be the last moment of relation. That's all right. Back alley Samantha. It's pretty funny. I bet they also loosened the purse strings to mail $17 via check or money order to marry Kate and Ashley Fun Club. A dream! I wish I could ask my grandpa if he got me Kirsten because she looked like me, or if he wanted me to be more in tune with the journey of my ancestors who started immigrating to the Midwest around the same time Kirsten did. I wish I had access to the stories of the brave girls who came to America and paved the way for me. And now I realize their invisibility in history books makes these dull stories so important. But back then, I was pretty much only concerned with the outfits, and I wish I could apologize to my grandpa for being so pretentious about Kirsten's clothing releases. I mean, Samantha's extra outfit was this gorgeous white tea dress that she wore to manners class with Grandmary. She never missed. Kirsten's extra outfit was a head-to-toe work dress for helping her dad do chores, described in the catalog as coming with ribbons just the color of thick cream that filled her bucket when she milked the cows. A caption that maybe bums me out more than her best friend Marta dying on the riverboat. I reread some of the books recently, and I was honestly amazed at the important stories they told. In history class, it seemed like we only learned about men who held power and leadership roles, and good for Pleasant Rowland for going out of her way to put women in the sequel, if you will, even though it feels sad to applaud a bare minimum inclusion. I remember borrowing Addie Walker's books from the library and reading Meet Addie for the first time. It was poignant, heartbreaking, horrifying in ways that stuck with me. In the beginning, she's enslaved with her family on a southern plantation, and she eventually escapes with her mother to Philadelphia, but is split from the rest of her family. If you look at the girls just as dolls, it was easy to focus on who did and didn't look like you, and now that I think about it, it feels kind of odd that we played with dolls whose backstories represented very real and traumatizing circumstances. But I think the most superfans read the books with a level of respect, like the diary of a friend rather than a frivolosity of general fiction. And the beautiful part of each doll having a book series was getting to know who they were beyond their appearance and learning about the circumstances they were in, the differences we should celebrate, and the similar experiences young girls have spanning generations. I actually think it's great. My aunt sewed so Samantha looked like she... I actually like the concept of the American Girl dolls, and I agree, while they are too expensive, I do think that it is something worthwhile, especially the fact that they like come with books so that you get to know them and things. I was really into the books. So, you know, I don't know. I like it. In Addie's case, her historical context was more memorable, but more importantly, what stood out were her many other qualities, like her continued resilience, desire to read, and passion for education, along with the main arc of her journey to reunite with her family. While my POV isn't the most important in analyzing the impact of her character, I will say that reading the books was an informative point of entry for girls like me who were exposed to somewhat selective forms of U.S. history in school. It's true. It's true. They spoke to young adults with candor, like they were smart, competent, empathetic readers, and shared the detail of horrifying realities of slavery and the Civil War that were most often glossed over in history class, such as what life actually looked like for families like the Walkers after they were freed. The AG books were a completely different way to understand history, allowing you to experience them through the eyes of a girl your own age. In interacting with the doll, it was like I knew her, and it made the books feel more real, and witnessing the inhumanity had an impact. I worried for her as a peer, unknowingly absorbing the historical accuracy in the process. The popular choice for AG dolls, at least in my neck of the cul-de-sac, was a doll that looked like you, hence me getting Kirsten. Something about the doll that looked like you was exciting, and if we were celebrating and criticizing, you'd think something called American Girl would have worked harder on representation when claiming to represent girls in America. Even though I loved the books and the dolls, I was a blonde-haired, blue-eyed kid who was well represented everywhere, and I didn't need more dolls that looked like me. During the brand's first 7 years, there were only 4 dolls, a blonde, 2 brunettes, and a redhead. And Aunt Addie was the only non-white doll until Josephina's release in 1997. Following that, Addie was the only black historical doll for nearly 18 years, and the brand completely neglected to expand on other storylines that could have highlighted the invaluable role of black girls in America through different eras. While I agree with what she's saying, I think it's almost too easy to go back and look and be like, well, this brand should have done this, when they were actually fairly early pioneers in doing this anyway. Did they do a lot of it? No, but they were doing more than most. So I don't know. I'm not really willing to criticize them when no one else was even doing this much. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's kind of like that moment in the Barbie movie when you see the woman who created her, and everyone had been crapping on, you know, the whole point of Barbie for so long without realizing that, like, she's just doing what she could get in there. You know what I mean? When you got to pitch it to someone who's going to bankroll the situation, you're doing what you can do to get it going. And they did more than most. So I don't know. I'm not going to put 2024 morals on a company from the 90s that was already doing better. I don't think that's useful or helpful or does any favors to anyone, honestly. I now hypothesize that when they were bought by Mattel, they started promoting the custom designing of dolls that look like you so that they could cover everybody rather than focusing on diversifying the backstories. But I'd argue that that misses the point. The integrity of the initial collection was rooted in showcasing less visible contributions of young girls throughout history and sharing unique elements of their environments and eras. Yes, but how can they possibly scale it quickly enough with those deep stories? The reason that those characters had those deep stories is because there were only 4 of them. You know what I mean? Like, if you want one that literally looks like every single person, no, it's not going to have that unless they're going to charge way more. They're already expensive. And this is I think that people miss a lot, is that to be able to have them all fleshed out would mean that they would cost more. That's just a fact. So you can't have it both ways, you know? Sometimes you can't have your cake and eat it too. I don't know. I think that they did a pretty good job with what they had. You know? Ideally, girls could find that one that looked like them and shared interests with them, and hopefully it would help them realize their potential and understand the importance of their contributions too. It's disappointing to look back and see what a missed opportunity it was not to develop the dolls earlier and more often highlight the culture and force changes that exist among the young members of historically excluded groups. My dad saw you out of the corner of his eye and said she's pretty. Thanks, Dad. While there's a lot that I now side-eye about the brand's exclusion, I genuinely celebrate American Girl's core concept. It's really cool to take a doll that, in the context of a baby doll, represents a toy that once embodied the options women were limited to and used to tell stories of young women who, as a result of limitations on women in their time, likely have stories that have been erased from history. Rather than just serving as a shell of a doll to dress up and play with, they had real stories, hardships, triumphs, and friendship. Even though they were dealing with things like slavery, being an orphan, experiencing xenophobia, and enduring world wars, those hardships didn't define them as much as they contextualized them. You got to know young women from different eras facing different types of challenges and oppressions, not just for their suffering, but their hobbies, interests, relationships, and most importantly, their humanity. I partially agree with this segment and partially disagree with it. The next chapter is quite long, and because it is order packing day, we're going to have to put that one till tomorrow because it's 20 pages. I'm not going to have time to read another 20 pages and still get orders done. But that was an eye-opening aside, and you know, all of us have different experiences with them, and the kids today obviously have even more different experiences with American Girl dolls, but I don't know. Yeah, it has me with mixed feelings as well, Amanda. I don't know. What do you all think? Do you all think they did it right or wrong? Or do you... This is actually a very interesting question, and no judgment on anyone's opinion one way or another, but I generally try not to put our understandings and morals in 2024 on something of the past. I try to look at them within the context of their own time, which is exactly the point of the American Girl dolls, right? In its own weird way. But I think shaming things that happened out of context isn't good. Like, was slavery always wrong? Of course slavery was always wrong. So that's one that we can shame regardless of the time, right? Like, whatever, you know what I mean? But not like, for example, certain, like, I've seen a lot of people complain different times about things that Judy Garland did in movies when she was younger, and they're like, oh, well, she was clearly X, Y, and Z. It's like, no, she was a child under contract, so let's look at the things she did as an adult, not under contract, and then you'll know what her actual beliefs were. You know what I mean? So, like, I never try to, like, or even if you want to just talk about, like the Disney Channel kids of the 90s and what they did. You know, you can't take these things out of context and put them into here. I feel like they started strong and had an opportunity to continue and didn't do it as well. Yeah, that's possible. Yeah. Hey, Negligent. We know the 90s they're a far cry. It's farther than people think, you know? It's farther than people think. So, anyway. Yeah. Exactly. And they also are a business. Yeah, they are a business, not a nonprofit. Yeah. Wait, did you just call me? Nah, man, that rewatching 90s media is wild. It is. Not even 90s media. So Secret Boyfriend and I are he's watching for the first time, but I'm rewatching Studio 60. Did any of you ever watch Studio 60, the Aaron Sorkin movie, the show that came out after West Wing, the one that Matthew Perry's in? And it is 2006 in the show. And there are things that they say and do that multiple times Secret Boyfriend's been like, well, that didn't age well. You know, like at the time it was okay. Shelly DM or text me and I'll tell you how we got it. It's it in its own way, it's progressive for its time because of the relationship between Harriet and Matt. Because I don't know if any of you know this, but the relationship between Harriet and Matt is based on Aaron Sorkin and Kristen Chenoweth in real life. They dated for many years, and he's a staunch atheist and she is a hardcore evangelical Christian. And so the relationship on the show, many of those conversations are their conversations, which makes them wild. Yeah, Sorkin's always good. I agree, Danny. But some of the things that get said on the show, you're like, because they'd never be said now. And it was 2006. It was not even 20 years ago yet, you know? So, very interesting. Very interesting. All right, so I will see you all later. The question that I have been asked multiple times today is, same, Amanda. We just got to an episode where a lot of us were, didn't Sorkin do Molly's Game? I don't know, maybe. I don't know that one. The question that I've been asked multiple times today is there going to be a public restock? And the answer is, I don't know. Because I haven't looked to see how many slimes are left. When I went to bed last night, there were about 140 left. And more orders came through overnight from the Patreon people. So I should negligent anything Aaron Sorkin does, I'm willing to watch. I cannot promise that there will be a public restock. And if there is one, it may only be 20 slimes. I don't know what to say about that. If you are a Patreon person and you have not looked at the posts that I posted last night, please do, of course. I think that they are important and interesting. I don't think Patreon is greedy. I think Patreon paid for the right to get everything first. That's, I mean, well, but I did say not to stress, but everyone on Patreon got something because there's still stuff left for Patreon. So no one missed out on Patreon, which is that is what I promised. What I promised was, what I said was right before the restock, I said, everyone might not get everything they want, but everyone will get something, right? That is what I said to the Patreon people. Everyone will get something. And that is what happened. So I can't promise that the public will always get something, but I can promise that the people who pay for the club will always get something. So that is what happened. That is all that I can work towards, is making sure that is, you know, encompassed properly. Anyway, so I'm gonna go pack orders. Yeah, it's too late now, Amanda. I don't know if everybody saw the thing last night, but I shut down all the levels for now, including early access. So even just the regular, like just early access level, they're all shut down for the moment, until I can figure out how I want to move forward with it. So the people who are in, and that is it. I am going to allow people to move around between like the grab bag level and the group roll for slime level, for example, or if you want to move between grab bag and jokester or whatever like that, but the person would have to DM me and I'll open a spot for them and I'll take the other one away. So it'll be the same amount of people, but they'll get to do this if they want, you know what I mean? Which is fine because it's the same amount of people. So like, what do I care? It's me making the same amount of slime. As long as it's the same amount of slime for now, that's gonna be okay. But no more spots. The only thing that makes me a little bit like, yeah, feel free to, Amanda. That's no problem at all. I'm going to put a post up about it with the instructions for everybody, so don't even worry. But the one thing that I have been thinking about is some people who want to participate in like the chat and community, but may not have the funds for the slime part. I'm debating this because a couple of people have asked me, they're like, oh, I'm in, but like I'm going through a rough time and I don't want to leave the community, but I don't have the money to keep my membership, and my heart feels for that situation. So I'm thinking about making like the lowest it'll let me go is $1. It doesn't let you go lower than $1 and still have the people in the chats and stuff. It's just not a possibility till I figure it out, Nissa. So what I was thinking of doing is opening $1 level for people to come like, and having one chat that is everybody. I wouldn't open all the chats to them because that's too much for me to keep track of. But I've been thinking about doing it as like a way for people to like hang out, but that would not give them early access. It would not give them access to the slime and stuff. It would just give them access to like stay in the community more or less. I don't know. I haven't decided. It doesn't let me make it lower than $1. So like everyone will be like, oh, you're just charging $1 for nothing. But like I can't, then you can't be in the chat anyway. The Patreon doesn't have that feature. So, yeah, no, we don't want kids in the AD chat. I would not open the AD chat to that. So yeah, I don't know. I haven't decided if I'm going to do that or not yet, but for sure, for right now, the only things that are going to be available will be if you are grab bag, jokester, or group roll for slime, you can move between those. Or if you're at a higher level, you can drop down to one of those, but we're not adding any new people right now. I even closed down Team Livestream. The only way that you know what I might consider doing? I might consider making a level that is just one of the chats and live streams with no early access, because then they could come and watch the live streams, because a lot of people are in Team Livestream just to like watch and learn and whatever that stuff, but not take away from early access. That's a possibility. That's not a bad idea. Move to group roll for slime? No, group roll for slime doesn't include the grab bag. I want to get out of Patreon altogether because you haven't redyed your hair yet. Do it. Get out. I'm redying it Friday though, so like maybe wait 3 days. That's not a bad idea. Having a level that's just you get to watch and you get to be in one of the chats, but you do not get early access, because that wouldn't make it a bloodbath any more of a bloodbath than it is, but it would still let them participate. And that level could be like $2. You know what I mean? Like whatever. Because they wouldn't be getting anything, any stuff. Yeah, an instructional class, like just like class level. Yeah. It's not a bad idea. And that would allow some people to like hang out until they're financially able to come back to whatever level they want. Or sometimes it's not even financial. Sometimes it's like for example, I don't know if you guys know this about, well, I guess I shouldn't say the person's name on here. Maybe they haven't said it publicly. But we have a person in our group. She's at one of the higher levels, and she messaged me last night that she was going to have to drop out of Patreon for a while because she's moving and she doesn't even know how she's going to get her collection across the country with her. And so she's like pausing all slime purchasing until she moves, and then she's going to come back. And I was like, of course, not a problem. She's been in there literally since day one of the Patreon. So like whatever she wants, right? But it would give her a way to like just hang out without getting any slime. It is a positive. No, it's not you, Shelly. It's not you. You are not moving across the country. She's not in here right now, which is why I'm not saying her name. I try not to give people's information out without their permission. Okay, if I want to do a birthday roll for slime and I'm not on Patreon, is that possible or no? Birthday roll for slimes will start up again next week, and we'll need to get you into Patreon first. Oh, that's totally fine, Kat. So I see this is what I'm here. You care so much. Oh, totally. So that is the whole kit and caboodle. So I will go pack orders and I will see you all later. Bye guys.